Hey YouTube, Skippy here, and coming to you with yet another product review. Now you may recognize this, it was part of my office tour, and it is in fact another Razer product. And I will be looking at Synapse just briefly again after the initial review of this, and just to kind of show how the setup of this particular device works. So if you don't know what this is already, this is the Razer Orbweaver. It's the 2013 edition. I do not currently have this device plugged in, but I just wanted to show it off a little bit. It is one of their gamepads, and what I like about this particular setup is, one, the level of customization that comes along with it, and the fact that it is actually a mechanical gamepad. And I'll be showing you one of the older gamepads, the Razer Nostromo, which I still think you can pick up in stores, just to kind of give a compare and contrast of it. But I will show you here. On the top part of this gamepad here, you have 20 keys. They are mechanical. They all have a kind of standard setup that you can use for them, but these right here, your WASDs. And then every key has its own default, but you can change this to suit whatever game you're playing. And much like anything else that hooks up to Synapse, you can actually link it so that whenever you start playing a particular game or open a particular file, that this goes to the right setup. Personally, what I like to do is when I set up profiles is to set this little key up as a profile switching key. So this will actually help me cycle my profiles. And I will probably show you what this looks like plugged in here in just a minute. But on here, you actually have the ability to change how far in or out this piece is by pressing this little button here. And you can actually use this little guy here to adjust the angle that this sits at. So very, very customizable. You can really change it to fit your hand. I'm a big fan of this. I like using a gamepad more than I like using the keyboard for most games. There's a couple exceptions to that. Not a whole lot, though. I really do prefer this kind of setup. On the side here, you have one button here, a D-pad that will read in 4 directions as far as the actual clicking goes, but you can actually set this up to be a directional control, and obviously the flippy little paddle. The construction on it feels very good. It's a regular plastic construction. You'll see on most of the new Razer stuff they have this kind of venting here in the front kind of style. Bottom, you can kind of see the frame that they've got this on. Obviously the model number, serial number, anything like that. I don't really care if I show the serial number because all you can really do with it is register my warranty, which I've already done. The only real complaint that I ever had, and I don't understand why they did this, is it is a plastic cable. It's just this rubber coated plasticky cable as opposed to a braided cable. I don't really know why they went with that decision. Especially when, and I'm going to set this kind of to the side here, especially when we look at its predecessor. Now it's kind of dusty. I'm going to set this off to the side just a little bit. This is kind of dusty. This is the Razer Nostromo, which is what came before the Orbweaver. It's a non-mechanical key, same kind of setup. You can see in the Orbweaver they've got an extra set of rows. No customization, anything like that. Same kind of setup on the side. Little paddle button. And this is actually a less clicky little D-pad and a button. And it actually adds in a scroll wheel. Some people like this simply because it has the scroll wheel on it. But braided cable. So, old version with non-mechanical keys and a couple fewer features has a braided cable. New version, much nicer, regular kind of plasticky cable. So that was really the one thing that kind of threw me off about this. Other than that, you can expect really a great product. I use this, I actually, between the Razer Nostromo and this one, I used a Logitech G13, which I will not be reviewing because that would require me to buy another one because I gave it away. I didn't like it all that much, so I gave it to a buddy to use. I like this. The Razer product has the higher arch in the palm. The G13 laid much lower, and I didn't like it. It was hard for my hand to kind of fit on it. And I do wish this had a screen like the G13s do. The G13s have a screen that you can actually set up to display profiles and times and computer information and all this kind of cool stuff, and I really wish this had that. So that's really the only two things that it's missing. A lot of people will say that the G13, the Logitech, is a better product, and it may actually be, but this works for me a lot nicer. And again, mechanical keys, which was a big thing for me. The G13 also does not have mechanical keys. So I think that there could be a couple more features on this, especially for the price tag. This is a $120 product. I think there could be a couple more features on it. But overall, I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really do love this product, and I really do prefer this over any sort of non-mechanical or just a regular keyboard. This is a lot easier for me. So again, we're going to take a quick look at the Synapse software, and we're going to hook this guy up, and I will probably show you exactly what it looks like plugged in. Actually, you know what? It'll probably be the title card for this, so you'll be able to see that. But we're going to go ahead now and switch over to the computer and check out Synapse for this. Alright, YouTube, and here we are back at the Synapse software. As you will recognize, this looks very similar to the Death Adder if you watched that review, or if you're familiar at all with any other Synapse software. They've made it to be very, very easy to use across all Razer devices. So what we're looking at now is a regular profile setup. And you can see all these highlighted green keys I have a particular setup for. Now this is my Skyrim profile. What's really nice about this, and you can see I have my exe file set up. I'm not sure if you can actually see that really all that well in the video. But I can go through here and I can set up different key maps. And if I go to just a blank key map, you'll see that I have all the standard kind of keys that it allows. So you can set these up, several different key maps, and you can set them up to be specific to particular programs. So yeah, it's very, very similar to the mouse, very, very easy to use. If we click here and go to side view, you can set up exactly what you want all of these particular buttons to be. So, and yeah, just different profiles. You can select your profiles, add, remove. If you go over here, we can go to create macros. So they're actually really easy to make. All you have to do is hit the add. You can record a macro. You can have a default delay between each keystroke. You can have it exactly how you put it in, and you can add those macros to any of your keys. Add-on, you can use a actual custom profile here. And if we go back to keypad, you do also have lighting control. So you can set it to pulse. You can set it to be always on. You can set exactly how bright you want it to be. I keep it on full bright personally. And you can also set it to have it turn off whenever your display is off, which I actually need to do for all of my devices. For some reason that's turned on, or not turned on all of my devices. So that has been Synapse for the Orbweaver. I hope you enjoyed, and again, I give this product a 4.5 out of 5. Please like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.